When he was born, I saw the look on my husband's face and my mom's face, and I could tell it was more than just the lip.
Carly Espiritu is talking about her boy, Luke, who was born with a cleft lip and palate. During her pregnancy, she and her husband, Wes, had been told that Luke would be born with just a cleft lip after a routine ultrasound.
Just remember crying and, them telling me it's going to be okay, but in my head it wasn't okay.
For the remainder of her pregnancy, Carly had monthly high-resolution scans to keep an eye on the development.
Every time we'd go in there, they would tell us, it's just a cleft lip, it's just a cleft lip, the palate's intact, everything's fine.
Then, at the moment of delivery, all that reassurance went out the window.
I was a mess. I was literally like a mess. I was an emotional roller coaster. I was blaming myself. They tell you not to Google anything, but of course, you Google it and you see like the worst case scenarios on Google.
A lot of parents, I think, go quickly to Dr. Google and try to find information there.
In my head, it was a birth defect and there's something wrong with my baby, and that's all I could think about at that time.
Those feelings are exactly what Seattle Children's craniofacial pediatrician Dr. Emily Gallagher hopes to change for parents during their first visit.
I think most people feel better within a few minutes, because I think we start off by talking about how this is a very manageable problem and they're coming to a team with a lot of experience taking care of kids with this problem. And we know a lot about what to expect.
Once I met them at Seattle Children's, it was amazing. Like all of that was lifted off my shoulders. I didn't feel the burden that I felt that I did this to my child.
Carly and Wes had the benefit of counseling at Seattle Children's before Luke was born, and even though they were surprised, they quickly bonded with their precious baby.
As soon as I held him and got him in my arms, I just fell in love with him.
Figuring out the best way to nourish the baby becomes the priority. Once that happens, it's time to start planning for corrective surgery, and an odd phenomenon parents might not expect.
I always warn parents before they come in for the lip repair around 6 months that they might feel sad when their baby's face is changed and they don't have the cleft lip anymore.
So before, when I didn't even have Luke, I didn't want him to be born with a cleft lip. And now they want to fix his lip, and we all fell in love with it.
Experience has taught the craniofacial team that ongoing care, from plastic surgery to hearing development and speech therapy, can prevent the condition from inhibiting the child's development.
We start to talk a lot more about hearing and speech, which are the other two things that are where you need to have an intact palate for those to be working well.
The most intensive care is given during the first 2 years and will benefit the child through adolescence.
We're also going to watch them for facial growth to see if they might need any other surgeries when they're finished growing to improve the relationship of their upper and lower jaw.
Luke is still being cared for at Seattle Children's, and Carly has found a community of parents who share their experiences.
There's support groups on Facebook, cleft mom groups on Facebook.
The parents didn't do anything to cause the cleft, and there's nothing that they could have done to prevent the cleft. It's just one of these things that happens sometimes.
He's my crazy little guy, but I love him so much. I wouldn't change him for the world, and I wouldn't change what we went through for anything.
Seattle Children's has a variety of resources for families who are sharing similar challenges and victories in dealing with cleft palate. We'll have a link to the support group on king5.com. For HealthLink, I'm Amatia Drisi.